Alright, got a whole bunch of stuff in this video. New project that I'm working on right now is a fire pit ring. This is turning out to be a lot harder than what I expected. Got to tack all this up. I'm building that for the guy that I built the bumper for his truck and the old place that we used to live. And if you guys haven't seen my Facebook page, we did have the roofers show up and they fixed our roof, fixed the shingles, put more steel up on top. So that's all done. That ended up costing us about $900 out of our pocket for that. Insurance covered most of it, but yeah, it still kind of bit us a little bit. Now I've been getting a slight problem from the Hyperion cart. When I drive it around on the street and stuff, I got airflow continuously flowing through this, and it works great. But when I'm out in the yard and I'm driving slow, what happens is over time the engine starts to heat up and get warm and hot inside of here. Well, you know, hot air is less dense than cold air. So what happens is the air on the inside is less dense and it starts getting pulled inside of the air filter. So the engine starts to bog down when it starts pulling in the hot air that builds up inside of here, and it doesn't pull in from the outside. When I'm on a straightaway, it's working just fine because there's enough flow of air coming through here. But as it is, I'm going to have to figure out something else with this. So the plan is, since I've already got the cover built, what I'm going to have to do is I need to find some type of soft line that's going to go from the carburetor up to the box, and then build a sheet metal cover behind the box that's going to have a hole cut in it and a flange so I can put the hose around that flange on the inside here. So looking at it from the rear end here, from your guys' point of view, we would have the angle, we'd have the little box that's on the inside that would have a sheet metal flange to it, and then we'd have a hose going over to the carburetor. The attachment that's on the carburetor. Now I've tried finding hosing that would fit around this attachment, and it's like 2 1/8, I think, if I remember right. Now I've looked at radiator hoses and stuff like that, and that stuff is either too big or it's too small, so I can't do that. And then, well, you know, build the little box and then put a foam filter in there, and then I'll put the outside housing that goes up over it. You know, that thing that I built. And then that'll pull air in and won't allow hot air to be pulled into the carburetor from the inside. Oh, kitty. Like I said, I've looked at radiator hosing, and that's not going to fit because those radiator hosing only goes in 1/4 increments. So unless I chew or chop the heck out of it to get it to fit in there, that's the only thing I'd be able to do. But I'm working on something that'll hopefully work, because I got to cut off any type of airflow that's going to go into the carburetor from the inside of the chassis. We don't want less dense warm air being pulled into the carburetor because it causes the engine to bog down. When I'm driving down the street, you know, that ain't no big deal. Or I'm driving on a straightaway, that ain't no big deal. But when I'm out here in the yard and, you know, just going slow and there's not enough airflow going through the chassis, then I start having problems. The engine starts to bog down. It starts to blah, 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 when it starts getting warm. Now, in light of this month, October, coming up on Halloween, I thought I'd share a little something with you guys all of you have no idea about. One source where I get my inspiration from. Now, that one thing that's my inspiration for most of my builds comes from this. An ancient book, lost for centuries. The Go-Kartonomicon.
To Nikki Tesla, who got that cold shoulder. To people on the street who play dead and roll over. I can feel your struggle each day I grow older. Feel drunk off the pain and just wanna go sober. Closer to this world is now becoming evident. Half of its residents think that they heaven sent. Speaking in the past, not living in the present tense. Speak about the problems but ain't never seen the evidence. Ever since I woke up I seen tattered peers break apart, fade away and try to mend the shattered.